It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Ace, BK, Truth, Rickstar, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Real talk.
Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. This is The Real Word. We're in season 9, episode 9. My name is Rickard Jr. Well, and I'm here with
Camille Hall. You know what I'm talking about?
I. And we here with 3 special guests that's here with us remotely via Zoom. Introduce yourself.
I'm Rene DeBellis. I'm the author of The Music We Make.
Ladies first, yes.
My name is Jason Pike. I'm the narrator and the author of A Soldier Against All Odds.
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot. Sorry.
My name is Mike Rick. I'm here just listening in. If anybody needs me to talk about anything, just let me know. I'll be here. Just happy to be here.
Appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yo, Mike, me and you have the same name.
You're a car.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Yeah, we got the same.
What's the odds of that?
We might be related from a different.
Another mother.
You're my brother from another mother, yeah?
That's true, man. That's hilarious. Because Rick is a very uncommon name.
I know.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, I actually inherit. Yeah. That's
we didn't even start with our shot.
Nice to meet you, brother. This shot's on to you.
Yeah, we usually start with our cup, we sip our cup and talk. Toast, man.
Okay.
All right, toast.
I got my cup, so yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right, toast to the real world.
All right, toast to the real word. So shout out to all you guys for being here with us. If you're watching at home on the Brick Network, shout out to the Brick Network. You can catch us there every Tuesday and Thursday. Also on
hit
Facebook.
Them with the whole thing again.
Real quick. Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube. Just Google The Real Word Ministries Inc. You'll find us. Donate, $, The Real Word Inc.
Especially if y'all wanted to keep going, man.
All right, facts.
It's still gonna go.
God willing. So we're here with very special guests from very diverse backgrounds. First one, I want to dive into Jason because I read a little bit up on your bio. You were saying that you was in a hole full of animal doodle and you was hoping that wouldn't be the last moment of your life. So tell the people about that.
That's the intro.
Yup. You're coming in hot.
Yeah, so I've got a book full of crazy stories, and you're talking about just one of those stories, and if you don't, I'll just go into what happened. We're almost drowned in shit.
Why? How? I know it's probably something not many people want to see, but I'm a visionary. I need to. How did that all plan out?
So I'm a soldier in South Korea.
Respect, my brother. My brother did some time. Sorry.
Yeah. So I was walking alone at night in South Korea looking for points. I was reading a map. A lot of times we had exercises of trying to find ourselves through the woods and through rural areas with a map and a compass, and it was an exercise.
You was looking for girls.
No. And survival, Well, same thing.
And there was other soldiers that were sporadically out there doing the same thing, but this
same thing, right?
we're not supposed to talk to each other. It's it's kind of a test to try to find your way through the woods. And I was walking on this rice paddy, on this rice bank, and I slipped into the ditch full of shit. It was a cesspool.
Oh,
and I threw my neck in it. All right.
That's an accident. I thought, it was like war. Like
So how'd you get out?
Well, I thought I was drowning at the time, and I was going down under it neck deep.
It must have been like nasty quicksand. Oh God.
That was kind of that was sort of like a quicksand material. And I was just going down, and at the time I thought,
that's
I
enjoyable.
didn't be known as pooping Pike guys on the, I was on the border of South Korea and North Korea just because that's where the exercise was at. And I was going down, and I was thinking, I've never had a family. I'm still a young man, and I can't die like this. And lots of things were going through my head. I didn't, so I started to caterpillar up out of it and get on top, and then eventually get on to dry land and get out of it. But it wasn't over at that point. So I laid on my back, and I'm thinking, why does this shit happen to me?
No pun intended.
So
real life shit.
But I was feeling thankful because I didn't drown in shit. And,
respect.
But I had another problem I wanted to
He's
deal
fighting
with.
for his life.
So I didn't want to be known as Poopin' Pike. And because if people found out, I would be the laughing stock.
Your reputation, Jesus.
Yeah, reputation, and they'd be dogging me. It'll be known forever. So I wanted to keep it a secret, but I had to figure out how to do that because they told us those shingles were out there because that's what they used to fertilize the crops, and if you fell into it, you would be medically evacuated out by a helicopter.
Wow.
A medical situation.
Mentally, yeah. Forget about the physical for a second. Even mentally, I'll be going through it, man.
Jeez, like get to the chopper. Like, shit.
I need a shower, man. I need a shower.
So I was facing a different problem after that. I wanted to save my face. I wanted to save my embarrassment.
Yes.
So I saw a small light at a house, and it was a Korean family, I think, and probably a farmhouse. I was walking toward it, that light. I could barely see it out there, and I didn't know if I was walking toward heaven or hell, but I was going to go somewhere to find a way to get some help.
Some peace.
And I knocked on the door of the complete stranger and spoke some Korean. Annyeonghaseyo, annyeonghaseyo, yeah. Did a little bit of sign language and stuff, a little broken English, and
I have a question. How did you learn Korean? Did you pick it up in school, or it was just?
I lived 6 years in Korea.
Okay, so you had some history there. All right.
Yeah, so I had 3 different tours over there. Of course, they were all non-combat, but still, it's a high profile area.
Okay.
There's a lot of soldiers that go to South
Blessed
Korea.
to know another language, another world.
So they let you shower and gave you clothes?
No, yeah, but I did. She motioned me to strip down
I
completely
don't even
naked.
want to talk about this no more, man.
He found the house he was looking for all night long.
Now.
We already know how the story
I see
is.
so much darkness.
Yeah, it was at night, actually. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night. And
it's even getting darker. Michelle, what do you do?
Well, I also had an experience where I thought, oh gosh, I don't want this to be the way that I die. I don't want this to be the last thing that happens before I die. And that was that I was in a really crazy car accident. A friend of mine bought a Porsche that day and thought he was the coolest guy in the world and wanted to prove it to me, and crashed it with me in the car. And that was sort of one of those events in my life where I took that and ended up using it as part of
I
the novel.
imagine Miami, South Beach.
Michelle's a passenger princess.
What did she say?
Michelle, you a passenger princess in the Porsche.
In the story that I wrote, in the opening scenes of the book, there is an accident in which my character Santiago D'Angelo survives an accident that his mother dies in, and so just like me in real life, where I survived that accident and went on to have surgery after surgery after surgery, and lots of opiate prescriptions. that's something that my character experiences as well.
Mm.
And so it was sort of a matter, and because the character is a musician, he ultimately turns to music to heal himself from the pain of the grief and also the pain of the addiction to the opiates that he experiences after that car accident.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go back now, because you mentioned that you was in a car accident as well on the porch, and I noticed a piano right behind you. Are you into music as well?
So I love music. You love music, right? You look like the kind of guy that loves music.
We all do,
Who
but I
doesn't
do.
love music?
We all
honestly?
do, right? Music is a universal thing.
Jason, you love
how we
music?
Enjoy life. What's that?
I was asking Jason, sorry, if he loved music.
Yeah, I usually listen to country music.
Okay, so everybody got a music genre.
Everybody has a music that they love. So for me, music is just something I've always been passionate about, but I don't write music. My husband does.
Mm-hmm.
And the song that, in my book, there is a song which you can listen to. It's called Bird of Paradise. And it's a real song. It's on Spodify, Apple Music, anywhere you can stream music. You can type in Bird of Paradise by DeBellis, and you'll find the
I
song.
didn't bring my laptop.
And around the time that I was in this accident, my husband had lost his mother, and he was writing a song that she inspired. So it was a sort of inspiration that came to him from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
She sent him these notes, the musical notes, and so that's an element of my story as well. But all this time that I was convalescing from this intense accident that I was in, I was hearing my husband play the piano. And if you say there's a piano in the house, and it was always being played, he was always playing this gorgeous song, Bird of Paradise. But it never went anywhere. The music never went anywhere. He never made any progress on it, and years went by. And it was always...
This is your husband now?
Yeah, it's my husband now. Yeah, we've been married for about 20 years.
Congratulations.
And that's about how long it took us both to write the book and the music. But here was this gorgeous song and me wanting to write a novel. And I thought, you know what? I want to help him understand what it is that is this emotional block, this creative block to making progress on this gorgeous piece of music. And so the character that I developed was someone who could show him the mistakes that he was making or how to overcome that. Just like we all have things that we need to overcome. And most of it, everything is, don't you find that it's like really between you and you? You know what I mean? We're our biggest opponent in life. And
strongest one.
I knew what my opponent was, you know what I mean, in terms of making progress. And it was like, okay, it's time to defeat that and write my novel. And so for him, it was about defeating that and writing a song.
So Michelle, why don't you guys mix that together? Like, why don't you make your demons mesh, as in like a music video, whereas like you're writing the script of the music video and he's making the music to the music video?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, that would be cool.
What was really cool about it along those same lines is that, I spent years writing this novel and he spent years writing the song, but when it came time for him to finish the song, it was like I had been working on the book, and we were coming back around to the scene where the song was being written, right? And I'd made it up in my mind, and I'm like, now the song actually has to get written so that the lyrics of the song are actually in the book. And so I said, honey, it's time to write the song. He was like,
Nice.
I'm a businessman. I don't have time to be an artist. And I said, and it was like the middle of COVID. I said, I really feel like you do, And ultimately, in a couple of sessions, he did end up writing the song. And that was at the same time that I finished the draft of the novel. So we did, like you said, kind of defeat our demons at the same time and actually make the creative art.
Was there a baby coming after that?
We do, right? Because these things are like these. But it's funny you say that because we have 2 children, a 16-year-old son and a 13-year-old daughter. But
That's like Steph Curry.
I chose to have my baby, and we built a company together, and we did that first. So it was sort of like we did those things, and they were grown up before I said, okay, now I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to give myself permission to be an artist. Now that I've achieved those things.
We was just talking earlier about when we was driving here, talking about, man, doesn't it feel like we have to like portray ourselves on social media? Like it kind of like I have to have a profile, I went from
right. I feel like you don't exist if you don't have a social media.
Yeah, profile. It's like
I for one am feeling less and less connected to mine.
Really?
The way that I originally started it out to be. Yeah.
Yeah, and the same thing here. I feel like I don't want to be connected to it, but I kind of have to have a profile in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's at the job, in a business aspect, I gotta have a LinkedIn.
So the people can find find the way to you, right? You have like a landing point. It's almost like we don't exist if we don't have a social media profile. But I'm sort of stepping back and going, okay, wait a minute.
It's not true.
How much of a distraction has my social media page been? You know what I mean? Like you're sort of like you get addicted to it. You know what I mean? In terms of attracting an audience or connecting with people or being liked by people.
I feel like you have no choice. Well, at least that's how I feel. In today's society, we kind of have to stay connected to the news, the media, the feeds, everything. Doom. You know, it's quick. Honestly, religion is what holds us together. Some type of, constant faith. I run every morning, 6 a.m. in the morning. I see the sunset, and it'd be a new picture to me, So it's always a reminder me that, God exists first. Before, technology take over.
Right. No, I like to go on a walk every day too, and I sort of say to myself, let me find the beauty of the natural world, because the technological world that we all live in is just so draining. You know what I mean? And when I go out and I, do my walk, my run, my hike, it's like I get to separate from all that and kind of refuel myself.
What's up, Mike? You being a fly on the wall, what do you think of this conversation so far?
I like the picture.
It's very interesting. I'm just amazing trying to learn from other people. The more I talk to people, the more I learn. There's so many. This world is just amazing. It just
that reminds me. Shout out to Andy.
So look.
Everybody.
So look, out of the two books, written by Jason and Michelle, what similarities do you see in the two books, and what differences do you see in the two books?
Just to participate in the conversation.
Just trying to get the voice out there. It's hard to get attention nowadays.
Not what Chris Rock says. Chris Rock, a famous comedian, just said that one of the ways is either you show your butt, a tragedy. Be super excellent at something. Like if you want a baseball player, you gotta be the best. That's how you get
LeBron
attention.
James, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you gotta be number one. And I forgot the fourth way, but it was very, modern day. He was telling the truth.
You gotta die, which is the worst.
Something tragic, and it's like it's so weird how attention work now.
Yeah, but Mike, please finish that thought.
Just like everybody has a story to tell, and I think one way to tell is just writing a book, and that's it's just amazing what Jason had gone through and trying to get his story out there. Wow, it just.
And major respect to Jason, man. Nobody could been through that, and it's not an easy thing to do. So major respect that you battled through that, man. That's the type of strong-minded people we need more in the world.
Totally, I'm totally agree with that. What you said there. So kudos to the authors, because it takes a lot of time and effort.
I was gonna say, I hope Michelle don't be in no more fast cars.
Well, that's gonna be hard. There's lots of fast cars around here.
Michelle has that personality.
It's life.
But you can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of life. You know what I'm saying? You can't try to avoid the things you're afraid of. You gotta face them. And probably, I'm guessing, Jason, that your book talks about that a lot.
Oh yeah, this damn book nearly killed me. It really did.
It
stressed me out.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, it sure did. I got it in my testimony on the first page. I went into the Stone Oak Methodist Hospital in San Antonio, Texas. The doctor said that I was pretty much going to die. I had my obituary, and we had our designated beneficiaries all squared away on what was going to happen after my death. And it was because of this book. It stressed me out and gave me a lot of blood clots. And I went into the ICU, intensive care unit. And the physician told me privately, outside the boundaries of formal rules, he said,
Did you still participate in Army services during that time?
So I was retired when I started writing this book.
Well, I mean, after the event had happened, did you still perform?
You mean when I fell into ship?
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to talk about the ship. But...
Oh yeah, I did 31 years in the Army, 9 years overseas. So yeah, I was a soldier for 31 years.
Still
in my
after
life.
that.
What was your highest rank? Sergeant, I believe, right? Or was it
Well, I started at the bottom as a private, and I went up to lieutenant colonel, which is an officer or an executive level type of management level.
Wow.
I don't even know if we could talk about Army stories. I don't know. I don't want to talk about my brother's stories, but I heard it was quite an adventure in the Army, man. He said high testosterone. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, and it's harder to put out a book for a military soldier because we have to suck it up and take it all. We can't really. We're not trained to express ourselves like a lot of folks are, so it's harder to get that stuff and squeeze it out of us. So it was a hard experience writing the book.
So you're saying, Jason, that like the experience of writing it brought it all out for you, and then in bringing it all out, you were experiencing that stress?
Ooh.
Yes, and bringing it out, I was experiencing the stress, and I had help. I had a ghostwriter that worked with me on it, and I also have an audio book. So it was sort of like just squeezing a towel of water and just it was like a slow death.
So then you had to experience all that you've been keeping bottled up inside then.
Yeah, I had to experience it and then express it for someone that could understand without all the crazy Army acronyms and language and so forth.
Right, exactly. Well, I know when I was writing my book too, it was like that in a sense that I was realizing that so many of the scenarios that I was creating for my characters were scenarios that I was trying to figure out in my own life and the traumas of my own life and how to heal them and how to give them a happy ending, I guess, you know what I mean? Or an understandable ending where I could make sense of things for myself and hopefully shed a light on those things for all my readers too.
Yes, going forward.
Because life is traumatic. Life is intense. Whether you're in the Army or you're just, living in Southern California, it's...
Cali.
Well,
Real quick,
life has a vote for everybody. Yeah.
Real quick heads up. In about 8 minutes, the Zoom is gonna reset. So just re-enter with the same Zoom password as before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay. Yeah. So, what made you guys?
Somebody wants to pay for the trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you guys want to come on this show? Let's start off with Michelle, because I like Michelle's personality.
Because she's from Cali.
Thank you.
He's going to move out there. Y'all should stay connected.
I want to talk real world talk, you know what I mean? And chat about the things we all care about, you know?
Okay.
In the case of my book, like I said, like my main message is overcoming addiction and overcoming grief and just overcoming all the pain that life brings your way and how important it is to face it.
So earlier on, I was speaking to Kamel, and he was saying that he wanted to have conversations that generally people are afraid to have.
Yeah.
And ask
let's do it.
And have the politically incorrect responses, I guess. And I feel like
the honest truth, man.
I feel like we have a good cipher here. We have people of different nationalities and races and backgrounds and ages, and it's a good cipher, you know?
Are we gonna just talk? We talking about presidents? That's what we talking about?
No. I think after COVID, the podcasting and this ability to write books, to be vulnerable and speak about your feelings has popularized
maybe not.
To the point where people of all walks of life are now like opening up and saying how they feel. Like Jason said, he opened up, like it squeezed them, like you used the word squeezed it out of you to the point where you was in a hospital bed, like you said blood clots and everything, like the stress made you Jamaican, blood clot.
That's not even how we say it.
So you know, but Michelle had the attitude like there's fast cars every day, like you gotta be ready, like you just gotta keep going. And Jason is like, even if I gotta climb out the shit, like I'm still gonna keep going too. Facts. And you talk about how you made to the executive, climbed from private all the way to the executive, like you climbed out the shit, you know, till you was the boss, you know, and we all had to go through that. But everyone's race is different. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's story is different. Everyone's book is different, right? And everyone
is their own artist.
You have to wait till you reach the point where you're comfortable enough to write the book. Like what you were saying, Michelle, about you and your husband, like with the song in the book.
You know.
Like you had to reach that point where you were slowed down and were like, okay, now we can have this conversation. Why do you think it took this point for us to have this conversation? Because I was talking to Kamel and I was like, the real word gives us the platform to have conversations with people that generally wouldn't be having this conversation every day.
Which is what we need more of, you know, more communication. Everything's communication, social. And it's kind of making us kind of pick up the pace on everything. Kind of like, oh, I got to be more open. Because kind of, nowadays, you sell, literally. Like, you selling yourself in some way, shape, or form. What do you represent every day? You know, so everybody's like trying to sell what they are. But, you know, for the young people, I feel like it's pressuring them. Because now they're so young and they're like, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do at 7? What am I going to do at 8? You know, they're trying to sell themselves too quickly.
But then again, all right, I'm going to give an example, right? Like Jason, you have on a green shirt. You have military background. Automatically,
that is looking like
it's like
the environment shapes you.
He's still repping it. He's still rapping his set almost. And then we have Michelle. Like you have a fairy tale background almost, and then you have the piano, the books. You keep playing
magical.
Like a Pantene Pro V commercial.
What can I say? My book is about beautiful people. You know.
He knows the beauty in life.
And then we have Mike. Mike here is serious. He's like, I'm just here, you know, I'm just here providing support.
That's right. Yeah. I'm just glad to be on. And like I said, it's I usually don't get a chance to voice my opinion that much, but this is good. This is good. I actually was born in Vietnam, so coming here to America was tough. We grew up poor, but
a lot of judgment in America. You know?
Yeah. So there was a lot of prejudice was going on. A lot of that stuff endures. So glad I made it. Glad to made America.
True.
And this is.
In my childhood, I didn't really feel that much race until I got older. You know, I'll say 5, 6, 7. I wasn't really thinking about the comparison of race or, you know, just my being poor, finances. All those things didn't make us different.
Because when you was younger, everyone around you was the same, so you couldn't tell the difference.
So you didn't feel the need to be different either. Oh, in a sense of until later on where, you know, the imagery started coming. Everything
influenced by outside factors.
I would say.
Right, and I think a lot of that happens too when we. Like as kids, we don't have egos yet. You know what I mean? Like we're just ourselves. And so as we start to develop our egos, suddenly we start to try to identify with all these different roles. I mean, and everything becomes other. Like everyone else is other. And we lose that connection. You know what I mean? That like natural connection. Because we really are all connected. But it's just so hard to recognize it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a shame because all that otherness is created by our ego and it's unnecessary.
So what's the role you feel like you played throughout your life, Michelle, or the role you were viewed as?
Yeah.
You know, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and I think some of the roles that I've sort of taken on are to be, you know, a wife and a mother and an author and an artist, and I sort of feel like I want to strip those away and just be myself. And what is myself? It's like, you know, I want to make art. I want to write.
What do you like to do?
I've always wanted to write since I was a kid. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, let me get to the heart of the writing. And when it came to writing this book, for me, it was like the thing that I enjoyed the most about it was learning the craft, like learning how to tell a story in a more compelling way. You know what I mean? Like, what would make this scene this much more gripping and exciting and interesting so that when the reader reads it, they feel like they're there. They can feel those emotions. They can feel those feelings. And always as I wrote it and rewrote it, it was always like, how can I make it more exciting, more entertaining, but also more meaning? Like when you read it, you could say, wow, that was really an awesome scene or a really awesome story. But you're thinking about it. You know what I mean? It creates like you can't stop thinking about
Yeah,
it.
you feel connected.
You know what I mean?
You become
to make
connected.
it really profound and meaningful. So as a writer, as I look at like, what is that role? Like, you know what I mean? Is it just a role that my ego's trying to like, be like, oh, it'd be cool to be an author. I want to be an author. It's like, no, I want, like, we all have a purpose in life, and like there's a certain amount of effort we want to put out there, right? Like when I go on a walk or a hike or a run, it's like I really enjoy that effort. It's like one of the favorite things I do.
That's what
so it's like, what is my
like.
favorite part of writing? Why do I want to be a writer? And I think, God, it's the effort of growing and getting better at my craft and getting better at what I do and getting more compelling.
We have less than a minute, just letting you know. That's if it cuts off.
All right, before it's going to cut us off.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I think in life everyone always has their first impressions of people before they get to know people. If I had to have a first impression just based
Don't judge a book by its cover, man.
True. Ironically enough, we have 2 authors in the room.
Yes.
But I would say that off rip, Jason, he looks like an army guy. He has on the green shirt.
Yes.
He got the beige background.
Still...
Everything. Army. And I would say Michelle, like I would take it as you were probably more so a popular girl growing up, like the beautiful girl.
But I wasn't at all. And that's been one of my issues with social media. I thought, God, I could go on social media and cure all the pain of being so unpopular when I was a teenager.
Yes.
And you know what I mean?
Yep.
I guess we gotta wait to find out what she meant.
We will find out soon, What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Let us know. What y'all think about these stories so far? Real life events, it's real life.
How do you feel about talking to people from different backgrounds like this?
I mean, it's just real. It's the real word, man. I've never been afraid to talk to people growing up in New York.
Yeah.
So it's always been It's been unspoken, but it's been spoken in a way. I always felt good vibes from people, even if it was bad vibes. I knew they weren't gonna, destroy me.
Rickard came back first.
Yes.
Yes, I'm back. I'm excited. So
and there goes Jason.
Back, so.
Yeah, Jason's back. We just waiting for Michelle now.
Yeah. I hope everybody gets their message across. That's.
Oh, there she goes.
And that's it. Oh yes, I gotta advertise my bags before we done.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna say this again.
Brief intermission.
We are giving away baby bags.
We're back.
Brief intermission.
We are giving away baby bags. Any family members? We have 2. Anybody who need baby bags, this is donations. This is to the people on Flatbush. This is to everybody,
Facts. If you need a baby bag, you can email us at
brand new
therealwordtv@gmail.com. That's therealwordtv@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, or you can hit me up on Facebook, or you can hit us up on Instagram at the Real Word Ministries Inc. On Instagram at the Real Word Ministries Inc. On Instagram or Facebook.
We got white. We got all colors. Nah, we just got white. But yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, from having a couple of babies, those baby bags are really handy. When you need one, you need one.
Yes, I got a few.
but Michelle, you was telling us about your glow up, right? Because you said you wasn't popular in high school. You became popular later on. And
I wasn't only not popular, I was despised. You know what I mean? Like, I was very uncool.
Why?
And so it's funny because
How are you? Nerdy? No, not even. How are you uncool?
It's so funny because that's the reaction that most people have. They can't believe that that's a true story, but I'm telling you, it is. It was a rough time for me in high school. You know what I mean? I was not liked at all. The mean girls had me by, I was in the clutches of the mean girls, and it didn't go well for me.
They were chasing you?
Wow. She might have took someone's man.
As I was older, and I met my husband, and then everyone I knew, it's like, I have such close friends, and they love me, and they adore me, and my family love me and adore me.
I gotta bring up a gender question, because that's another thing that's going on around. There's the gender topics. And there's this saying that goes around in the man culture where we say every war is usually started by a man and a woman. Some type of war was either some man going after another woman or some woman going after another man that caused war. So did they not like you? Because you said it earlier, she probably took someone's man, so I have to ask.
No, I think what it was is that
Oh, she was saying.
And this is, it's funny because I'm working this out because I'm writing a second novel. It's called Almost Perfect.
I bet.
And the woman, she's a ballerina, and she's trying to get ahead. She's in the New York City Ballet. She's at the top. She's the
That's New York City?
They're all so great. And to get there, you've got to have a little something extra. And so for this character, she's at the male students at the head of the ballet. She's using all of her sexuality to get ahead. And there's a point where her sister tells you, you're either going to be popular with the men or you're going to be popular with the women. And I think looking back, and that's again about working out those things that you look back and you have these traumas and these stresses in life, and you look back and then you try to work them out as an author through your characters. And so I think in high school growing up, not knowing how to get people's support, friendship, popularity, I was sort of subconsciously always using my sexuality to try to get ahead, and that really turned the girls off, the women off. And so those were the people that I was pushing away when they
were jealous, as you know.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There was a lot of jealousy.
So you always been good looking then?
I mean, it didn't happen yesterday.
Jason, you hear this? Mike, you hear this?
Yes, I did. I wish they had the look of. I'm just a normal look.
Guys, we just know. You know what? I think I seen it the other day. It's the same comedy. It's like, women beauty is powerful, but here's like,
look.
A woman in the street, people will stop the car to help her. A man in the street, nobody, they driving right past him every time. He cannot stop traffic.
But most of the people that are going to be trying to stop to help that woman are going to be a man, and he's going to want something for helping her.
Of course.
But
you gotta pay to play.
But a woman wouldn't stop to help the man, though.
All right. So here's the main conversation now. They said men.
Unless he's like me,
The main conversation now is men are judged based on how much they make, and women are judged based on how good they look. Do you feel like that is true, Michelle?
Yeah. I feel like that's a good way to put it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Jason, do you agree or you disagree?
Well, I mean, a woman wants security for the most part. I mean, throughout all time and throughout all ages, all races, they're trying to look for that cave or that person with money, and the man has always been looking for sex. So
it's so simple.
I like Jason. He's simple and straight to the point.
That equation that you set in motion, which I think is pretty reasonable, right? Is that a woman will then provide sex to get security. That's sort of.
It's a nice it's a trade.
Mike, what you think about that?
Trade.
Oh yeah, that is pretty much a true statement because I've been working all my life. I just retired, so I 35 years in the corporate world. That's a true statement. So
all about the politics, man.
It's always politics. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about
politics as usual.
You make the connection with the right people, know the right people, and that's how
that's the corporate game. Like
it's a little bit different with the ladies. You have pretty looking hair, pretty looking face. You might help you more.
The customer service ratings are way higher.
It doesn't help you. I can't say that it hurts you, but sometimes when you try to rely on it too much, like for example, like you were talking about social media. It's like I went on social media and I thought, okay, I'm so popular now. Everyone in my life loves me. Let me now take what I now know that I didn't know before and apply it. And be popular, right? And like heal these traumas of my past.
That's how it feels.
And as I went out there to do that, it just didn't happen as easily as I thought it was going to. It was like, oh, okay, well, let me just figure it out. Let me get better at this. Let me take some coaching lessons, and do my thing. But again, what I ultimately ended up doing was reverting back to that mistake that I made as a teenager, where it was like, oh, I'm not getting attention, I'm not getting enough attention. Let me turn up my sexuality. Let me use my looks more. You know what I mean? And that wasn't a positive thing. That didn't go well for me at all.
Mike, what type of corporate American job did you have?
Yeah, I was with the federal. I was with the Department of Energy, so it was.
Department of Energy. What's that?
Yeah,
D?
DOE,
Yeah.
Department of Energy. I work here at the Nevada test site.
So what did you do?
I'm actually a design authority, design engineer.
Okay,
so
cool.
I have my degree in chemical engineering.
Oh, nice.
So engineering.
Yeah,
So
all engineers are the same. Creative.
So all you guys have very diverse
so-
backgrounds. Everybody
Yeah.
have very diverse
I
backgrounds.
studied
very
computer
diverse.
engineering.
Yeah, I'm more of the what you say, introvert more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get out the door very much. So it's good to talk to people and make the connection and learn more about other people, other culture, and other how they live their life. It just, everybody has an interesting story to tell. So, just strike that conversation, and it's just amazing when you start talking to people, they'll tell you their life story, and
You find
it's good.
connections,
It's
you know. I feel like it helps.
We made another connection. Mike, since you're Jason's brother-in-law, that means, since you're Vietnamese, that means Jason is in an interracial marriage, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell us how that's been.
Yeah, so I married his sister more than 20 years ago, and married. So where I grew up, it was only white and black people. But
And where was that?
Say what?
Where'd you grow up at? You didn't tell us.
Fingerville, South Carolina.
Fingerville, South Carolina. Type of name. Fingerville. So they was giving everybody the finger.
Fingerville, yeah, like the finger. Northern Spartanburg County, South Carolina.
Wow.
I have to laugh. I'm sorry.
So yeah, that's and then I went, like I said,
The name.
the first Asian women I met were in Korea, where they were in South Korea.
And they turned
so
you
I
out,
started
huh?
getting attracted to. I liked Asian women, so yeah.
Everybody got a preference.
They turned you out in Korea, huh?
They turned you out.
So, yeah, summed it up.
That's love.
Hey, he never turned around.
Once you find your
Yeah,
love.
once I switched to the Asian side, I never went back.
Yeah.
I went Asiatic, is what they call it.
Mm.
Everything.
And Michelle, what you think about that?
My dad's twin brother married a woman from Hong Kong who had immigrated from Hong Kong, so all my cousins are, half white, half Chinese.
Mm.
And to me, it just was always the most natural thing in the world, because that's, like you were saying before, Camille, like what you grow up with is what you're used to. You know what I mean? And so
that's home court.
And what's your background, Michelle, if you don't mind?
I mean, I like to say I'm an American. My family's been here in America for like 5 generations, but like English and.
My father used to wonder if that was a distraction.
But I mean,
So WAS, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. Would you consider yourself?
That's a name?
Yeah,
I mean,
WAS.
technically I'm Catholic, so.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
Yeah. So what about your husband?
My husband's Italian.
Okay. Italian stallion.
He's an Italian stallion, exactly. He
I
really is.
respect that.
Mm.
Good man.
I just watched Rocky 1 through 5 last week, and
That's
3,
the
1, 2, 3.
vibes.
So I'm really feeling like I love how Creed always called him Stallion.
Yes, that's the vibes.
So you tell us the culture differences, because there is a culture difference between white American and Italian American. So how?
Oh, absolutely. Well, my husband always says, like he doesn't think of himself as a white person. Like he always said, like his mom would say, "What are the white people eating?" They're Italian. They're eating Italian food.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of cultural differences. You know what I mean? Like the things that we do for holidays and the things that my family grew up doing. But we sort of all, like the things that they were doing as Italians were a lot more exciting and desirable. So we sort of took on all of their traditions.
So what's one of the traditions that you like the most from the Italian culture?
Well, okay, so this is a fun one. For Christmas Eve, it's no meat, you know what I mean? So we have all seafood, like a seafood extravaganza. And so we'll have
I imagine salmon
and fish, several types of fish, and lobster. And,
That sounds delicious.
I mean, like it's very exciting.
It
And my
looks
husband's
steamy.
an amazing cook. And so it's been really really fun to eat all the great Italian food all the time for all the holidays and all the time.
I've been to
So
Rome.
here's one stickler that they always attach to Italians: the mob. Have you dealt with that?
Yeah. That's a Brooklyn
I
thing.
mean, no.
She's like, I can't talk about it.
So I mean, hey, we talk like this sometimes. You know what I mean?
That's that Brooklyn thing, you know what I'm saying? Forget about it.
I ain't telling.
We just like to pretend like we're connected to the mob if it serves us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, we don't have any associations with the mob. I swear.
Yeah.
The guy last week said, I ain't telling Italian. I ain't telling.
Oh, that's what it means? That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah. Mike, like, I didn't think I was going to get this much excitement tonight.
This is good to put the cultural differences aside, you know? There could be distractions.
So what you guys think about us now? Because you guys got to tell us what you think about us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys are like a couple of cool guys. You're in Brooklyn, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, you guys are making it happen. You're getting your message out. You're doing your thing. You're talking to people. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Respect.
You had fun so far tonight, Michelle?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Real conversations with real people. That's what we've been always doing since we've been young. So I always come
How
on.
did you do it? How did you start out doing it? What was your mode back then?
It started with I say games and some type of competitive competition. As I got older, I felt like the competition kind of ruined the friendships a little, or even pulled it back. But when I was younger, those connections, especially with my brother here, it was always good. It was always good connection. And as I think what we got in this conversation was ego comes into play. Those good connections start becoming less and less and less, and it's like I realized more. Since my father passed, it's like, what are these things for? The ego is just a distraction. You could think of it as entertainment, but
it is a distraction.
Yeah, but most of the time it's just it's not motivating you to do anything. So a lot of times, I think to go back to doing things with love at the leader. That's why I run in the morning, and a lot of times it's it's just I want to make sure my heart is running. What am I running for? It's for health. It's for for my family to know that we still strong. And to let them know, don't be distracted. You could get past those thoughts.
Yeah. But I think her question was like, how did we end up starting the show, right?
Was it the show?
That's what you meant, or are you talking about life?
Well, I liked everything you just said because it felt so connected with what I was saying earlier. But what I was getting at is like, how did you start the show? Like, what were some of your earlier modes of technology to talk to people?
So he started it.
Yeah. So I would say back in 2015, I was afforded the opportunity to preach at a church. And my first sermon was called The Reincarnation of Rickard G. Noel. And I wanted to depict a picture. Amen. I wanted to depict a picture of my life story from then to now. So the very first picture I used was my passport picture when I came to America from Haiti. And then I used...
see this picture.
Yeah.
I gotta see.
And then go on my Instagram. It's still there. And then the very first picture, I think, like the first top 10 on my Instagram ever.
Got you.
And
all the way back then?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
And then the last picture was when I graduated college, almost, because it was all around the same time. And so I just preached the word about how when I was young and I told my life story. My second sermon was called Let He Was Without Sin. I held a rock the whole time. I preached the whole sermon because I'm like, y'all always talk about y'all better than everybody else, but if he was without sin, throw the first stone. I got the rock in my hand. If you feel like it's me, then take it from me and hit me with it. If not, then I'm going to just drop it and we could build from there.
You challenged them.
It worked. Last week, Friday, we closed on a $1.7 million church.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So after my third sermon now, it went viral. That was back in 2015. And then I had about 60,000 views on that sermon on Facebook. And then then one day I woke up, I went viral. Like, people started following me from all around the world. It was like, oh, man of God, man of God, man of God. And I'm like, you guys have the wrong person, because I don't know how you guys even follow me. Like, you're bugging. It was almost like people from all over the world started hitting me up. Like I would wake up to 600 notifications, people calling me from all around the world, because that was around the time when Facebook let people call you through WhatsApp, through Messenger. So people were calling me all day long from all around the world, from India, from Nigeria. The other day when you came by, I showed you the analytics from all the countries, like the people still
calling. What did they want from you? What were they calling about?
A lot of times they'll call just to talk. Like they'll call me video, they'll show me their goats, like weird stuff, or they'll ask for money to help build orphanages.
That's good support, I guess.
Yeah,
goats.
Like they'll ask to like pray for them. A lot of the Indian people, they'll show you a bunch of kids. They'll say they want you to build orphanages with them, or they'll like support their business, help them. Some want to work for you or work with you. Mm-hmm. So eventually now, I had all these people coming in, all this influx of people. So I said, what can I do with it? That's also the time when Facebook introduced the Facebook Live, so I started implementing the live. I used to be
about feeding the people.
Yeah, so I used to be in my room in the basement, like just doing live shows, and people used to come on and watch. And then from there, I was like, oh, people really watching. I said, let me try to build it up. So then I would go to a library, set up a table, like rent a meeting room, do the show like that. And people would come. Then I would.
So did you think it would work?
I felt like it was gonna work just because I felt like I wasn't gonna stop until it did. And anything that I could have did in the process to do, I've done. Yeah. And I've done. Like, so I could say, so over time
I was asking, like back then, did you have faith? It was, well, you said
I had blind faith,
wasn't gonna stop.
I had blind faith. Mm-hmm. So I just kept building, like from renting studios to building. You was there by the first season when we saw that boy
from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and then we just kept building up until we eventually made this studio, the studio we in right now.
That was an odd moment.
Facts. And then
that picture.
One day we submitted for a TV special. Then we ended up being on TV. Now we're in the 9th season. Then we just kept building, and everything they would say we didn't have, we went and got.
Showed them the stats.
And then, just kept building upon it, from preaching to the Facebook show, to the TV show. Then I got ordained, I went through life, got married, had kids, like all of that, started all businesses. Then went back to school, did my master's, continued to do everything. People was like, you gotta work with politicians. We work with politicians, helped 3 politicians get elected recently. Went back to school, got a master's degree, got ordained as a minister.
Speaking of politics.
Started 3 business. So it's like, we just kept building upon the success that we was doing. And this my brother, like I've known him for years, like since like little kids type, grew up out the mud.
20 years.
So it's like a lot of us that grew up together are still together till this day. And even though sometimes we're corporate, sometimes we're religious, other times we're in the street. In order for us to preach the message that we were given, we have to preach it this way. Because the people that we're reaching, they're not all in the church sitting down waiting. If we were sitting down waiting in the church, we would never reach you guys, obviously.
We got to get to technology.
And you guys never going to forget us. I could bet you $1 million on that.
I'm not going to forget them. I'm not going to forget them either. This moment lasts forever, Whenever our past...
Do you guys play music on the
show? Yeah. If you go on the YouTube, we actually have a theme song that's rapped by my brother and sung by my sister, and it shows all the work that we do in the community, because we don't only do a show, we also have a 501c3 nonprofit. Like last year, we fed over 3,000 people, I don't want to be facetious, but I fed more people than Jesus, That's what... So
there goes the rap bar right there.
so it's like we're really touching the community, touching the people, and we're trying to meet the movers and shakers and people all around the world. Like this is not a platform, this is a portal. Like we invite people from all over to step into our world.
That's true.
And the people that we can't reach out and touch, we'll use the internet, we'll use computers. Like I showed you how much cameras we have in this room right now. So it's like
some good yeah.
What you think about this, Mike? You're like, wow.
Yeah. This is like blowing my mind. Just amazing how you guys started. Getting your message across and the platform you guys using it. And there's different ways of doing using Facebook, using TV.
It's like 30 YouTube ways now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think it's really cool
think-
how you guys, like you said, there's this kind of blind faith that you say, I'm just going to keep doing it until it's done. I'm going to keep doing it until it's done. You know what I mean? And you sort of have this trust. I think that's one of the great things about like stripping away like some of the rules our ego gives us and saying, you know what, I'm just going to do the work. I'm just going to put out the effort. I'm going to just do what feels right to do. And it sounds like that's what you're doing. Like, I'm going to feed the people. I'm going to get the message out. I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm going to get the donations. I'm going to keep making it possible to do what the work is. And for me, the work is getting it out there about my book. You know what I mean? Like I want people to read it. When I was sitting there reading and growing as an author, it was like how the audience that I was imagining in my mind was a big audience. You know what I mean? It's like I want to touch and affect people with the story, and with also with just the importance of overcoming our pain to achieve our dreams, because it's so important. We all need to achieve our dreams because it's so detrimental not to, or to, like, you know, like you're like Rickard, like you know what your purpose is.
I was
you
trying
just
to
keep
find her.
going after it. You keep blindly believing and having faith, and the next thing you know, you've had more people than Jesus because you believed you could and you kept doing it. You know what I mean? And so for me, it's like, and you probably know this too, Jason, you get out there to start spreading the word, the good word about your great story in this book that almost killed you to write. And now that work is getting it out there. You know what I mean? Is people know about it. So yeah, so hold it up because it's a big deal.
Yes.
Mine's shining.
It's all odds. I mean, I came from the bottom, and I'm trying to spread inspiration and hope to folks because I wasn't the best student in college and I wasn't the best soldier, but I just kept on going and just kept on going. And there's just so many things when I look back on it. I mean, hindsight 2020, I don't think I would have wrote this damn book if I knew how much hell I would go through on this thing.
Yes.
But,
I'm trying to market it, right?
now I'm marketing it, and I think there's a lot of good books out there where people just set them on the platform and they don't market it, and I don't know what the deal is. They just
how can we buy your book? How can we find it?
Yeah, what can
go
we find?
to Amazon, Jason Pike, jasonpike.org, or A Soldier Against All Odds on Amazon. I have the audiobook as well, and this thing was, I know Michelle, you want to write another book, but I don't know if I'm ready for it now. I'm still trying to gather my breath.
Well, how was the experience narrating it? For me, I narrated my book as well. It's also on Audible on Amazon. And for me, that was my favorite part. I loved every minute of recording it. I felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
You got the voice for it.
Not me.
You did the audio to your book?
Thing I've ever done.
Both of them did.
Was it? I mean, for me, it was the hardest thing I ever did, but it was also just the most rewarding and the most exciting. I never had so much fun in my life.
Wow.
Except when I was in some of those fast cars.
Glad it's over.
Okay.
Now, take a breather.
You have the voice for it. Michelle, you have the voice for it. Yeah.
So you think Jason has the voice for it?
Jason does too. Jason sounds like he probably does character voices in the voiceover. Do you? Or you don't?
No, I speak in my own voice. Now, when I was a little kid, I could make animal sounds pretty good. But, I grew up out in the country, and but I come from that, that culture of South Carolina and Georgia, and I'm trying to get across, hey, you can pretty much do any damn thing you want to. I mean, I was diagnosed at age 7 as a problem learner. I mean, on paper. I mean, everybody says they've got some sort of problem, but my mom and they sent me to educational psychologists and said, well, you better let this guy go. He's not going to really do much in life.
That's disrespect.
And yet you made it to lieutenant colonel, so you showed them.
Yeah. So just getting through college, everybody, why I wrote the book is everybody says, how in the hell did you do that?
Everybody want to know the secrets.
Everybody want to know what the hell. And so I said, well, everybody keeps asking the same thing, so I figured, well...
Gotta answer the question, right? Gotta tell the truth. Gotta tell your truth. For real.
Yeah.
That's
so, Mike, what do you think about the two authors' confessions about their books?
I've been following Jason's book, so I've been having an invested interest in his book and trying to help him promote the book. So hopefully he'll come out with version 2, because version 1 is pretty interesting. But I can't wait. I can't wait to get that version 2 in my hand, and I hopefully he'll get it out sometime in less than 2 years, because I think he was thinking about this book.
It's the real word. It's the real